Hi, Bobby. I'm doing good. How are you today?
Not bad.
Good. Come on in. Right before we got started, I asked you to look over the confidentiality agreement, and I really appreciate you coming in and working with me, because you know I'm a Lamar student, working on my counseling degree, so I'm not fully certified yet, but I just want to let you know that this will be recorded, and this is so that my professors and other peers can watch the video that we show. And riding through here with the confidentiality, I just wanted to let you know that anything that you and I say is still going to be just between us, and I won't release any of the information unless it's something that involves you being harmed, someone in your family being harmed around you, elderly, children, or if anything is mentioned in some sort of court order. So does that all make sense to you and everything?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're good with the conversation and it being recorded?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So how was your week this week?
Not bad. Been a lot better than the last couple of weeks.
Well, that's good. What's made it better?
Weather change. Not sick. Everybody been sick.
Yeah.
Work. Everybody. It's not been bad.
Good. That's good. So is there anything particular you want to talk about today?
Yeah, just can talk about how it is with the adjustment from going from bachelor lifestyle to pretty much insta family with everybody moving in with the kids and Jessica and just everything having to adjust to that style.
Okay. So Insta family, you said you have Jessica and children. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
You got JC, you got Joey, the twins that are 10, and Maverick that is 7, and we have them most of the time and every other weekend. Just adjusting from going from just being me and my buddy Brandon living at the house to now there's 5 of us, 2 dogs, 2 cats, so 9 of us in all. And
wow, that's a house full.
going from just 2 of us.
That's a big adjustment. That's an
Yeah.
adjustment for anybody. Anytime there's change, that's an adjustment. So, what has been the biggest challenge you think of all this?
Just changing up my lifestyle of how you going from being able to say anything and everything off the top of my mind just like that, just being able to mile it down and not have to fly off the handle or cuss or do anything like that, just out of the blue have to think about it.
Well, so you're having to make adjustments with what you're saying and your reaction.
Most definitely, yeah.
Okay, so it's been a little bit of, that's been a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, just breaking it down, not having to actually think it out before I just react to anything, instead of just how I used to be able to just kind of whatever come off the top of my head, just be able to spout it out.
Well, that's good that you're aware of and making changes. It's good. Sounds like a positive move forward. So your adjustment, you said, with this move in, on a scale of 1 to 10, when you first moved in, and 10 being the best, what do you think this relationship was like when you first kind of came in at the beginning?
About a 6. When we first started off, it's just right at you, and you had to change up right off the bat. Just couldn't keep going how I was going. Just couldn't live the lifestyle I was living at the time being. It just reverse course at the time.
Okay, is there any particular change that you've had to really deal with more than others?
Our scheduling, with me working nights, her working days, and us having to try to work it out. During the week she's pretty much on her own and not me there, with me being at work at night and just only having an hour maybe in between time, and then just pressing it all for the weekend.
Okay, so what kind of night shift are you working? Like, what are your hours in the evenings?
I go in at anywhere between 5 and 6, and then getting off anywhere between 3 a.m. and 4:30, 5 a.m.
Oh, so it's really like an all night.
Yeah,
All night.
graveyard.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Most definitely.
All right. Yeah, that can be.
So when I'm getting there, they're getting up and I'm winding down.
So that can be definitely kind of strenuous, coming and hitting and missing that way.
Yeah, most
So,
definitely.
so when you're coming in and you, I guess as a single person, or bachelor, as you said, what was that like? Just when you would come in from work.
Yeah, just when it was just me and my buddy Brandon, just literally just anybody stop by, come hang out, crash out if they needed to crash out. Now it's you can't have just people just randomly popping up and all times of the hours just doing whatever you want to do. You just gotta be mindful of everybody around you.
So when you come in now, do you rest a little bit, or are you still awake, or how do you do that whenever, I guess, assume they're all getting up in the morning?
Yeah,
What is that like?
if they're at the time, if I'm getting right around the same time they're getting up, I'll try to stay up and help out with their whatever morning routine's going on at the time, trying to get people in the shower or get school stuff going or breakfast going, help her out getting breakfast going. And if I'm not there, other than that, if I'm getting there super early, I'm not trying to crash out, but just that flip flop with the schedule.
Okay, well, it sounds like another positive thing is you are trying to stay awake, and you might not have always done that before, discovering and gone to sleep, but staying up and trying to help out in the mornings with all that activity. So how does that affect the relationship you're in right now?
It takes a toll sometimes because you're, like we were talking about, going from pressing everything, just trying to fit everything in on your couple days off instead of having the actual whole week together and being on the same type of schedule. And having a couple hours every single day instead of having a couple hours, you might have 30, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour.
Okay, so you mentioned that you do have some time off during the week?
Yeah, Fridays usually, most of the time we have Fridays off together, and then Saturdays sometimes, depending on her schedule also, with flip-flopping on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay, so you get to do some things together then that day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's where we try to get everything crammed into that one day, or the 1 or 2 days.
That you're doing now,
Yeah.
is that seem to be working out okay?
It takes its toll, just the adjustment of us needing to plan better for our time and getting that adjustment down for those days, or the time we do have during the week also that we have together, instead of just cramming it all into one day.
So when you're off together, you're running around doing the normal routines of errands.
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, I'm stay-at-home type. She's definitely the on-the-go type. Always wanting to be out and about, and I'm hermit. I like being at home all the
Okay.
time.
All right. So are you able to find some time together other than that day off?
Yeah, we do. We get our times that we say, like Friday night we have recorded shows that we wanted to plan for a couple hours that we do get to wind down for those couple hours on Friday night, and going into Saturday we sometimes get some time to just do our thing.
Good. That's good, because having that, is important time that you two have with each other. Is there anything else concerning you with the adjustments coming in? What about the children? You mentioned the children. So how's the adjustment with the children going?
It's going good. I enjoy it a lot. It's fun. That adjustment is always going to be there. It's just not always going to be there, but fresh, first couple months into it, it's everybody adjusting to everybody, them adjusting to me adjusting to them, everybody living, cohabitating in our area, our world.
So what particular adjustments are you making? I know you mentioned language. You're having to
Yeah.
personally adjust with
Yeah.
what you're saying and how you're reacting. Are there any other type of adjustments that you're having to deal with that are a little stressful than others?
No, not just trying to be mindful of that they're going to pick up what I'm doing, or how I talk to Jessica, or how she talks to me, that we're not yelling or arguing in front of each other, or we're doing our own thing. If we need to talk to each other in a different tone, we're not yelling at each other in front of the kids or anything like that. But cussing, none of that kind of stuff needs to be going on in front of them, because that's how I usually am. Just spit it off the hand, just
Well, that's
right
good.
off the top of the head.
That's good that you're making very good efforts to not do that. And also it sounds like with the relationship with her to be careful of what you're saying to each other.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. That's good. That's not always easy in relationships to do,
Yeah,
regardless.
Cause you're,
But
you're working on both, the family
Sure.
relationship and the individual relationship.
Sure.
And you can't do it all in front of everybody.
well, so what are some things that you have found that you do different with the kids around? What are you some things that you enjoy doing?
Like the other day when we picked up, instead of, just burying our heads into the TV, just, getting to know each other, talk and color, and first time I did that in years, and stuff like that I hadn't done forever, and just actually getting to know somebody instead of just burying your head in a movie. That's been fun.
It's good. That's a good point, because you are getting to know them, I guess, on a different aspect, because children are all hers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you were saying. Okay, so just make sure I understood that right. So you're having to get to know them more of a lengthy term than just in and out.
Yeah, hi,
when
bye.
they're around. Right.
Most definitely.
Right. So working on that relationship, and you feel like it's moving in the direction you want it to.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Just being mindful, it takes the good adjustment of what I'm having to do instead of, I don't know how to word it right, being mindful of how to act in front of children, because I haven't been around kids since growing up with my own siblings. Just that gap in between.
Okay. Do you think that they're having an easy time adjusting to this whole situation? Do y'all talk about the adjustment with them?
Yeah, I feel I'm having a great time with them being around. I feel the same, that they're having a good time with me being around. Sometimes we all butt heads. We're all a very stubborn group of people. We all are, and just learning how to live with each other. That's pretty much what it's getting down to.
Well, what are some of the positive things that you think is going on with everybody there together?
The positive thing, everybody's learning. The learning curve is the best part about it. And I'm learning things off them that I wouldn't, normally get to do, because I don't have kids around all the time, but now I do. And then vice versa. Them having basically a stepfather in the life, instead of just, just the mom raising.
Okay. What are some things that you've learned from them?
Patience. You have to be more patient with, younger children, instead of just losing your temper or losing your head, just flying off the handle.
You've mentioned several times flap handles.
Because that's just the way I am. Just I can go like that, but I don't do that. Just I have to be mindful of not just.
So has that ever happened with them around?
I have, yeah, dropped some 4-letter words that I probably shouldn't have, and talked to them afterwards, after everybody's cooled off and not mad at each other, and tell them why I said it, not to them, but it shouldn't have been said. That's the way I'm used to be able to talk, but not the way I should talk in front of them at all. And they understand, and they'll tell me, because they're very open-minded and very well-spoken on how they're gonna tell you if you're in the wrong or not. They don't mind telling you.
Okay.
And starting a coin jar if I do slip up.
Oh. There's a
Definitely.
coin jar.
Yeah, if I slip up, I got that one off my dad.
Okay.
Because it's mixed family, same way pretty much going in with my parents when they got together, just same old situation, having to pick up from, learning from them, trying to integrate it into what I'm doing here.
So you've lived in this sort of a,
Yeah.
a mixed family before.
Definitely, yeah. But now, right around Maverick's age, 7 years old, when my parents got together, when Susan and my dad got together.
Okay. Well, so you've got a little bit of background with that, and that's probably a helpful insight coming into the situation.
And
That way.
and with a good handful of people in the house. So yeah, definitely know how to live with a handful of people.
Wow, how many people were in the house when your dad and Susan got together?
Me, my brother Paul, Jacob, Philip, Corey, Susan, my dad, and my grandmother. So 8 of us.
Wow, that's pretty big.
So eight of us, eight humans. And now we're with 5 humans, 4 animals.
Close.
Getting there.
So you said that on the relationship or the adjustments that you feel like you're at a 6 whenever you first got together, and how do you see that now?
It's getting it to about the 8.5 because everything we need to be worked on. Nothing's perfect.
So you're up to, you feel like you're going in an 8.
Going in the right direction, definitely.
So you feel like, I know you mentioned that getting just the adjustment itself, getting used to everyone's routine and everyone's schedules. Anything else do you think has contributed to the moving it up to an 8?
Just everybody getting comfortable with each other instead of having to be tipsy-toe because everything's new. And everything's just pretty much not a routine. It's, breaking the routine now. Everything's just everyday normal life.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. You're past that normal, that kind of the beginning of the adjustment phase. So it's a little bit more relaxed now. Is there anything particular that you think that you have done just since they've moved in? Besides, I know you've already mentioned that the language, the time adjustments. Anything else particular come to mind that you've had to really adjust to?
Yeah, just the mindfulness, and instead of being selfish towards doing whatever I want to do, being more selfless and taking an aspect that we're a group, not just how I want to do things. It's taking mine that they might not want to do it how I want to do it.
Oh, so just that consideration. So I'm hearing you saying this now, the consideration to plans.
Yeah.
To plans. And how does that go with that many of you trying to plan to do things? Do y'all get a lot of time together? I know you mentioned that the kids, I guess they kind of go back and forth a little bit, but do y'all have some time that you're able to all spend together?
Yeah, definitely. We have mostly on weekends, but that's what we need to work on during the weekdays of, trying to more scheduled. What we need to do is be more routine instead of just kind of thrown out there. We need to have more of a plan, get everything planned out.
More of a plan.
Yeah.
So the kids share with you what sometimes their plans are or what they want to do?
She's got them in a good routine. Same routine almost every single night, doing the same thing every single night with the schooling, showering, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, what about on the weekends? Is there stuff that whenever...
Weekends she lets them be them. Weekends it's no more, it's not saying no rules, but relax time, just to break it down instead of having to be in that routine, that Monday through Friday routine.
Well, has there been any, is there any times where you're there with the children now without her around, where you're having to have the full responsibility?
Yeah, mostly on Saturdays when she's at work from 8 till 6, 9 till 6.
How do you feel about that?
That it's an adjustment. Sometimes, I'm not used to always having to be learning how to be the caretaker role. It's just always been me. So now, vice versa, is make sure fed, bathe, make sure everything's getting how it's supposed to be going, even though we're more of a relaxed situation. Make sure nobody's killing each other.
So you had to kind of step it up on the times when she's not up there at the house.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, how has this, all of these adjustments in the house affected you outside the house, like with work or any other relationships? Is it?
Actually, I got my buddy Justin at work. He just had his first kid, and we get to bounce everything off of each other because he's new with it, I'm new with it, and we get to. That's my outlet to be able to talk back and forth. I do have an outlet at work, so.
Okay.
Other than that, it hasn't really taken a toll or anything. It's been fun.
Yeah, that's important to have those friendships. Well, it sounds like you have a lot of positive things going on with this adjustment as well. With being able to realize, that's a real important thing, being able to realize some of the things and going ahead and working towards those and seeing some improvements on your own, like you were saying, like thinking through and
Yeah, definitely.
reframing, and then having to step up some of the responsibility and not, I believe your words were, not be as selfless, or become more selfless, and having to focus on what everybody thinks instead of just what you think, when you do the plans. Um, Going back to what you said about scaling it and the improvements, and you mentioned that, um, conflicts. What is there a particular the conflict or challenge you said that you're facing is just the time adjustments? Is there anything that you see changing in that?
I'm stubborn on the time adjustment. The one thing I like working nights. It's just that one's hard to give up because I've been set in that night frame for a decade now. I've been working at 10 years, and I've adjusted to it. And it's even going on the days I do end up having to work days, it's just miserable because I'm having to flip flop everything just like that.
So you're pretty comfortable with
Yeah.
that routine, and that routine you don't want to change up any. And she works during the day.
Yeah, she's daytime.
Okay. And you mentioned a weekend too, so she has to work part of the weekend.
Yeah. On Saturdays, so she has Fridays, Sundays off, which usually I have also Fridays and Sundays off because I have Fridays through Sundays off usually. So when she's at work on Saturday, I get to watch kids on Saturday, and Sundays also we have. That's pretty much getting back into. Sundays is getting back into what we're doing for the week or what they're getting going for the week, for school wise and going to their dads and stuff like that.
So what if, just to really kind of make this adjustment and the tension, with this whole scheduling, if it were just to become wonderful overnight and there wasn't any tension with it, what do you think would have to occur for there to be no tension with you working nights and her working days? What do you think is
What we were talking about earlier, the actual, instead of just trying to plan everything for where we have the Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Sunday, we need to have the time breaking down also throughout the whole week and actually spend time throughout the whole week instead of just Friday and Sunday.
so a little bit more quality time?
Yeah,
Is what you're looking at. Okay, so more quality time. During the week, if you happen to be there with the kids are there, I know you mentioned on Thursdays that y'all have some, on Fridays you have some set shows that you like to watch.
Yeah.
But if the kids are there, and you're there too before you go to work, do y'all have any time together?
Well, usually I'm already going to work by the time they're getting back from work and school. So they're really just the time frame of right when I'm getting off and they're going too. That's that 45 minute to an hour gap. You might get lucky if we catch each other during that time frame.
Okay. Well, on excuse me, on
It'd be better if we had, like with my schedule, because I jump around so much. If we got set, like they were talking about getting put into a set schedule at work, we'd have more of a, an extra day here, and also, time in between the week instead of just those few days.
So it looks like Friday's your main day together, and possibly Sunday. And on Fridays, you said you're kind of, are you just coming off from a Thursday night schedule? So
Yeah,
you're kind of
definitely.
sleeping most of the time Friday, while maybe she's doing
She's
errands. You said she's out taking care of all that.
Yeah, that's
So
the adjustment. That's part of the adjustment, is realizing that I'm still coming off that Thursday and still having to work. So Friday I'm just catching up with everybody else, trying to flip flop for the weekend, because I do flip flop for the weekend. I try to go to bed earlier than just the 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. I try to go to bed relatively 2 or 3, so I can still get up at 11 or 12 instead of getting up at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So I can still have those handful of hours or extra handful of hours.
That's good. That's a good way. That it seems like you're really doing a lot to, continue to move it forward in the situation. On Fridays or Sundays, is there anything else that y'all could work on to, you said more quality time, and you mentioned like planning and being organized. So are you talking about planning and being organized for you two, like specifically setting something down besides just hanging out watching the movie?
Yeah, definitely. We need to get more, quality time, and also just all of us as a group need quality time. As the family, just to be able to do something, not just, you know, pass or cross paths that day for the hour.
Well, it seems like you did find some quality with the coloring you did the other
Yeah,
day.
that was fun, definitely.
And so maybe some more things you might be able to think about, that would allow you to have that quality time together. I guess really,
The planning of it, yeah.
right,
probably is gonna be
while
the
we're
best
talking
thing for
about
me.
it is you seem to have a handle on what you want. Now it's just a part of setting up. This next step is to come up with things to get you in
Yeah, put it all in
finishing your
direction.
direction. Right. So quality time is one thing that you mentioned that you want to work on. Also planning and organizing some of that time. Does that mean planning and organizing time at home or getting out of the house? Because you said you're a real homebody. Does that cause
Probably both.
conflict a little bit sometimes, or is
The give and pull, probably both ways. The, you know, at home time needs to be worked out better, and also getting out and about and actually getting out of the house and get things going also at the house. Everything needs to be, just all around just needs to be more planned out better.
okay? So if you were to come in and have to come up with something to do outside of the house with Jessica, what do you think you might, if you were to come in and just suggest something?
Yeah, that's what we were actually talking about, you know, finally planning and actually doing something together, going like camping or going to Oklahoma or, you know, just getting out of the house because I'm the homebody and she's not. So this is the give and take to the relationship of
Same
it.
thing, you're gonna have to kind of plan it
Yeah.
completely getting out of the house?
Yeah,
Not-
that's what, yeah, pretty much. When I mean homebody, I mean homebody.
Is there anything you could think of maybe around the town or something you could do that would be
Oh yeah, definitely.
pleasing to both, something that would interest both of
Yeah,
you?
I like getting out and, you know, getting out and about. She likes going to botanical gardens, getting out and photography and all that kind of stuff. So I need to be more mindful of her likings also instead of just my likings.
Okay, so it seems like you have a good idea of what some of her likings are.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's her frame of mind.
Okay, all right, so, today it seems like that we've talked about, when you came in, adjustments were your biggest topic of concern, or what, the biggest happening in your life right now.
Definitely.
So being able to adjust to that, it does seem like you've been making a progress in this adjustment time from a 6 to an 8, which is good, and you wanna continue to keep it on that and really improve it, is what you said.
Great.
If you could get to, you know, I know 10 is the best, but I mean, and you also mentioned that's kind of hard to get to realistically.
Float out of 9 because there's nothing perfect. Float out of 9.
So you're hoping to get at least maybe up to a 9 soon. It sounds like you really have a lot of positive things going on for you. You've tried to make the adjustments by staying up on times that you were used to coming in and going to sleep and staying awake for her and help out with the children. You did say that you need to consider more quality time and
Correct.
planning. So it looks like maybe right now, this week, you might want to try to focus more on, you mentioned a lot, oh, she can do that, but I think maybe you might need to, you mentioned you need to do that as well, you know.
Correct.
Coming up with some quality things to do that you both enjoy and setting that time for yourself, because that's important in a relationship, is having that time together, and planning. So it sounds like y'all are in the right mood, but this week maybe just focus on seeing what you can do with at least spending some more quality time together and what that entails, or what that would look like, to you getting some ideas together. I've really enjoyed this time that we've been able to sit here and talk about things. I hope this has been beneficial to you. Is there anything particular that's been helpful for you in these conversations?
Yeah, just opening the mind to there being, you know, changing the mind frame of just me and looking at it, you know, planning, evolving everybody instead of just keeping that same mind frame.
Well, it sounds like you're moving in the right direction. That's good. If there's anything that I can do to help you follow up with this, you know, please feel free to call me, contact me, we can sit down and go over your plans soon. I would really like to hear from you again. But I understand, you know, you're helping me with this class, but
Yes, ma'am.
I'm still here for you to do that with.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else?
That's it.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming in and sharing, and I know you're gonna do a great job looking at those, some goals that you have in mind.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for coming in,
No
Bob.
problem.